This is the CCEA, November 2023, M7, paper 1. So this is the non-calculator one. Let's take a look then at what we have. The length of the side of a square is 51.1 centimetres. Estimate the area of the square. So obviously it's an estimate then, and then area is going to be this here squared. So for estimation, we would have one significant figure. So that's going to be 50 times 50. 5 times 5 is 25, and then the 2 zeros. So we're going for 2,500. Question 2. Cara read the following instructions to draw a triangle. Using a ruler, draw a 10 centimetre vertical line from point A. So that's this going up here. Note the point A has been marked below, so you'll see it down below in a wee second. Label the other end B. Place a protractor at point A and measure that for the line AB with a dot. Draw an 8 centimetre line from A through your dot. Label the end line C and then join B to C. So what do we start with? A 10 centimetre vertical line. And you see then the point A down here. So I'm going to put this, hopefully you're okay if you kind of go in it from this end. So I'm putting the 10 centimetres in from there. And there's the wee cheat you can use, you can kind of line it up with this. This is a vertical line here, you see. So if we join it up then like that, and just be as accurate as you can. It then says label the other end B. So that's B. Place a protractor at point A and measure 70 degrees. So as accurately then as you can. So you really need to make sure that this here is all lined up with that line there. Your zero is going right through the middle of the line, and then we're going around and we're going to measure 70. So we're going on the outside here, and we have that. Draw an 8 centimetre line from A through your dot. I think you can just about see my dot there. So again, we're being accurate here. I think that's going through the dot, it's going through my A, and we're going then 8 centimetres. And it says then to label that point C. And then join B to C. And that's my triangle there. Question 3. The graph shows Paul's journey from Caden to Exton and back to Caden. How far is Paul from Caden when he first stops? So from Caden we have this here, and so he's then going to be 40 kilometres when he first stops. How long did Paul stay in Exton? So this is him going away from Caden. He stopped there for a wee bit, then he went to Exton. So he's Exton here, and so there's your minutes here. It's between 120 and 160. So that's going to be 40 minutes. Paul left Caden at 8:30 a.m. At what time did he leave Exton? So this time here is 8:30. This is maybe not the best way of working this out. And then he leaves Exton 160 minutes later. So let's think about this. 120 minutes would be 2 hours. So 102 hours after 8:30 is going to be then 10:30. And then there's 40 minutes then to add on. So 10:30 plus 40 minutes is going to be then 11:10. A fair spinner has outcomes 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. The spinner is spun twice. The two outcomes are added together to give a score. Complete the table below to show all the possible scores. So we add those together. So we're going to go 1, 3 is going to be 4, 6, 8, 10. 1, 3 is going to be 4, 6, 8 and 10. And 3 and 5 is going to be 8. 3 and 7, 10, 12, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. What is the probability of getting the most likely score? So the one that appears the most often is this 10 here. Do you see this one here? And there's 5 options for the 10 out of the 25. So my answer then is going to be 5 out of 25. And that of course cancels down then to 1/5. Bag contains 140 grams of crisps, 30% is fat. How many grams is this? Now if we had a calculator we can do this a slightly different way. I think the wisest way is probably to go for 10%. What's 10% of 140? That's quite easy. That's going to be 14 grams. So then 30% is going to be 14 times 3. And if you work that out, you get 42. Kevin owns a business. 3/5 of his customers pay by card, 2/7 pay by cash, the rest pay by check. What fraction pay by check? So what we're going to do, we're going to add these two fractions together, and then the rest pay by check, so we're going to take it away then from 1. So 3/5 plus 2/7. So you add two fractions, we need a common denominator. So how many times in this up? So it's going to be 35. And this is going to be 35. 5 times 7 to get there, so we go 21, so that's going to be 21. 7 times 5, so that's going to be 10. And it gives me then 31 over 35. Then check. Then it's going to be 1 minus 31 over 35. So what's that make it up to then? So it's going to be 4 over 35. Question 7. Look at the table below. It shows the number of pastries sold in the morning, and we have those. Based on this data, how many of the 50 pastries sold in the afternoon would you expect to be chocolate muffins? Okay, so let's see what we have here. So we have 5, and 1 and 6 is 12, so this comes to 20. And we're trying to work out then for 50. So you could kind of half it. Would you expect to be chocolate muffins? So many would you expect then for 10? Well, I would expect 4 if there were 10 sold in total. So then for 50, I would times that by 5. And I think then the answer is going to be 20. Now there's different ways of doing that, but hopefully you can sort of see what I've done there. This comes to 21 of the 50. You could just times it by 2.5. 2.5 eighths isn't so hard. And that gives you the 20 as well. The answer then is 20. Given that 29400 over 245 is 120, write down the answer to. So we have a 0 dropped off here, so we're going to drop a 0 off here. 245 times 240. So we know from this that 245 times 120 equals 29400. So we got to times this then by 2. So 29400 times then by 2. 0, 0, 8, 18, and 5. So it's going to be 5, 8, 8, 0, 0. And then finally 24.5 times 1.2. Well, here you can sort of see again, we've done it up here. 245 times 120 is 29400. So 24.5, so that's 1 decimal place in, and then 2 decimal places in. So I got to go then the 3 decimal places in, so it's going to give me then 29.4. The other one is just, it's a sensible guess, 24.5 multiplied by just over 1. It can't be 294, it can't be 2.94, it has to be 29.4. The diagram shows 2 identical shapes, A, B. Describe fully the single transformation that takes shape A to shape B. Okay, well, it's been flipped around. You can't translate it, you can't move it across and down because it's the wrong way up. So it has to be kind of rotated, and hopefully you can kind of see that. If you have tracing paper again, you might want to check there, but I can see that it's a rotation based around there. You might be better again with a bit of tracing paper. So let's see if I can find myself. Okay, well, the wonders of technology, I got myself a bit of tracing paper and what kind of marked on there. Now again, you could just try different wee points. I've drawn this on, and it's actually shape A to shape B. Great, what a great start. So it's shape A to shape B. And if you put the pointy bit of your pencil here as accurate as you can, and you rotate this round, you'll see it lands right on shape B. Now you might need to practice with a couple of different points, but I can see it's going to be 0, 0 there. So it's a 180 degree rotation. out the origin or 0, 0. Question 10. 110 is a binary number. 20 is a decimal number. Work out the total of the two numbers and give your answer in binary. So the way binary works is we go powers of 2. Remember, don't forget the 2 to the power of 0. So that's going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. So those are what we want. And it's 110, 110, so it's going to be 110, 110. We always kind of start from this end here, so there's no 64 involved. So it's 32 plus 16, what's that give us? 48 plus 4 is 52, plus one of the 2's is 54. So my number here that I'm looking for then is 54. We're adding it then to 20 plus 20, and that gives me then 74. And we want that in binary. Now I'm going to transfer fit it on here again. So we need a 64 in there. 64 plus 32 would get us way past 74. That's too big. We want a 0 there. 64 and 16 gets it to 80. We don't want one of those. We do want an 8. 64 and 8 is 72. So we want an 8. We don't want a 4. We want a 2. And we don't want that. So 74 in binary then is going to be 100101. Question 11. Use a ruler and compass to construct a perpendicular from the point P to the line shown. Get my compass here and a pencil, and this isn't great, but hopefully we can see what's going on. So I put the pointy bit of the compass on P, and I set my compass so it just about catches the edge of this line. So hopefully you can see. I'm going to mark that off there. I think that's come out okay. Without changing your compass, you do the same then at the other side. So you see the two wee marks I've made. Then we effectively find the perpendicular bisector between those 2 points. So you set your compass pointy bit here and set it over half the length of the line, and you mark it then through like that. Again, that hasn't come out that clearly. Again, my pencil's not great. I'll go over it a couple of times, hopefully that'll work. And then you do exactly the same thing. You come over pointy bit here. You can't see this because of my thumb. It's alright. You can see that. That's where I put the pointy bit. And then I'm drawing that in. Where those arcs cross is our answer. And so it's the perpendicular bisector going from here to here. And that's what they're looking. Make sure and leave your construction lines in. The examiner likes to see that then as working out. Question 12. Using the nth term, find the smallest term in the sequence above which is bigger than 1000. So that's the first term, second term, third term, and fourth term, and the gap is 3. That means it's 3n. My formula begins with. The way I work it out is I substitute the number 1 into this. 3 times 1, exchange my n for a 1. 3 times 1 gives me 3. How do you make it 7? I add 4, so that's my formula. It says using the nth term, so you need to use this to find this. Now some people might go kind of right greater than 1000. I'm just going to equal to 1000 and we'll deal with it from there. We're going to solve this. 3n, 1000 taken by 4 is 996. And then n, it's quite easy to divide this by 3 because you just divide each term by 3. It gives you 3, 3, 2. So if n is 332, it gives you 1000. So the 332nd term would be 1000. But we want to find the smallest term in the sequence which is bigger than that. So we need to go to one bigger. So we're going to let n equal 3, 3, 3. And then 3n plus 4 is 3 upon 3, 3, 3 plus 4. 3 times 3 is easy. 999 plus 4. And it gives us then 1003. September 1st is on a Sunday. Nina has applied to do her driving test in September. No test dates are given on a Sunday. Nina is unable to do her test on Monday to Fridays due to work. What is the probability that Nina is given a test date that she cannot do? There is nothing wrong with you writing out the calendar for September here. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. You don't really need this, but if I know the 1st is a Sunday, I know then the 8th is a Sunday, I know the 15th is a Sunday, I know the 22nd is a Sunday, and I know the 29th is a Sunday. There are 30 days in September, so we're not allowed to use any of those, so we're now down then to kind of 25 days. Many Mondays are there going to be? Well, there's one on the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and then the 30th. So there's 5 days out of the 25 that you can't do our test. And then what about our Fridays? So that'll be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 13, 20, and then the 27th. There is, of course, no 34th of September, so there's only 4 there. So out of the 25 days, there are 9 days that she can't do her test. And so my answer then is going to be 9 out of 25. A is 2.5 times 10 to the power of 8. B is 8 times 10 to the minus 2. C is 5 times 10 to the 4. Work out the value of A, B over C. Give your answer in standard form. So we're going to go 2.5 times 10 to the power of 8. Multiply, because that's our A, we're timesing it by B. 8 times 10 to the minus 2. And that's all over 5 times 10 to the power of 4. So how does this tidy up? 2.5 times 8. You can do 8 2.5s or 2.5 8s. Either way you get 20. And then 10 to the 8 and 10 to the minus 2. We're adding those powers, so it gives you then 10 to the power of 6. That's all over 5 times 10 to the power of 4. This is a slightly weird one. This number here, 20 times 10 to 6, that's not in standard form because this number's wrong here, but it actually makes our life easier. If we do 20 over 5, it gives us a 4. And then 10 to the power of 6 divided by 10 to the power of 4, we subtract the powers there. And so it's 10 to the power of 2. So my answer is 4 times 10 to the power of 2. Question 15. A and B are similar pentagons. The length of each side of pentagon B is 3/4 of the corresponding side of pentagon. What's the fraction of the area? So the length, the scale factor of the lengths is 3/4. So the scale factor of the areas is going to be 3/4 squared, and 3/4 squared, then is 9 over 16. And 9 over 16 is the answer we're looking for. Question 16. We have this shape here. Draw the reflection of the triangle in the line y equals minus x. So y equals minus x is a tough one here. We need to know where that is. That's one of those diagonal lines, and it's the one that kind of runs here. Excuse me while I kind of twist here to kind of draw this in. Effectively this line here is going to be my reflection line. Now what you can do if you want, you can turn it like that. And some people find it easier reflecting across like that. Now that I've kind of made this, like a vertical line, I'm just going to work it from here, and I'm going to count like diagonal squares across. So this is half a square here. So we're going to have a square out this side. How many squares is this away from the reflection line? 1 diagonal square, 2 diagonal squares. So I go 1, 2 out the other side. And then this one here is 1, 2 and a half. So a half, 1 and 2. And you can see then the triangle that appears on the other side. We have that. Question 17. And that's what's done. M is directly proportional to d squared. M is 36, d is 3. D is directly proportional to x, d is 4, x is 2. Work out the value of m whenever x is 4. So it's an awkward enough one. So m is directly proportional to d squared. That means m equals k d squared. Whenever m is 36, d is 3. So I'm changing my m for 36. And then the 3 squared is of course 9, so we have 9k. I've changed those two around, I hope that makes sense. That gives us then a value of k is 4. So my formula then becomes m equals 4d squared. D is directly proportional to x. D is directly proportional to x. D equals k x. And same again, D is 4x is 2, so 4 equals 2k, and that's k is 2. I should probably have changed the k for a different letter, not to confuse it with this one up here, but I think we're okay. And so my other formula then is D equals 2x. Find the value of m when x is 4. Well, whenever x is 4, D is 2 times 4, and that's going to be 8. And then m is 4d squared, so m is 4 upon 8 squared. 8 squared is 64. If you times that by 4, you get 256. And that's the end of the paper.